In a world where so many people seem stuck in toxic cycles, it's more important than ever to focus on personal growth and self-awareness. I believe that genuine self-improvement should always be a priority, before relationships, before external validation, and especially before conforming to outdated societal expectations. It's often said that men are visual creatures, and while that may hold some truth, this belief has been used to excuse a lot of behaviors that are not conducive to true growth. Too many people accept the idea that men can't control their impulses, placing all the responsibility on women to adjust their behavior, their clothing, and their self-expression. But that's not the whole picture. Yes, self-discipline is important for everyone. Men and women alike have a responsibility to be mindful of how they carry themselves and how they interact with others. However, blaming women for men's lack of self-control only enables toxic behavior and reinforces unhealthy power dynamics. It's frustrating because it allows men to avoid the very thing they should be focusing on, evolving and taking responsibility for their actions. There's a disturbing trend, even among some women, to perpetuate the idea that men can't evolve past certain behaviors because it's just how their brains are wired. While I respect different perspectives, this belief sets a dangerous precedent. It lets men off the hook for failing to cultivate self-discipline and stunts their emotional growth. At the end of the day, it's not about one person taking on all the responsibility in any situation. It's about both parties being accountable for their actions. For instance, when it comes to relationships or sexual encounters, it's often the case that women are blamed if they don't assert boundaries. But this overlooks the fact that men have a responsibility to respect those boundaries and take shared accountability for the outcome. It takes two people to decide whether or not to engage in something, and both should be equally responsible for ensuring it's done with care and respect. Personally, if someone isn't willing to take responsibility in such situations, whether that's in using protection or respecting consent, it's simply not happening for me. The truth is, personal growth should always come first. If more people focused on evolving, on becoming more disciplined, more aware, and more responsible, we'd see far healthier relationships, fewer toxic dynamics, and a world where both men and women could thrive without the weight of old-fashioned stereotypes. This is why it's so important to go on a personal journey of growth before trying to find validation or fulfillment through others. No one should be tasked with carrying the burden of another person's lack of growth. I also find it heartbreaking that in many parts of the world, women are still having their self-expression policed by societal expectations, often because men are deemed incapable of controlling themselves. This kind of thinking not only stifles women, but also prevents men from reaching their full potential as evolved, responsible individuals. The idea that men are inherently superior or unable to change is damaging to everyone. At the end of the day, I've realized that while it's frustrating, I'm at peace with where I am, focused on my own growth, remaining open to possibilities, but not settling for anything less than a connection that speaks to my soul. People may think differently, but what matters most is staying true to the values that resonate with you. It's rare to find someone who's on the same path of self-evolution, and that's okay. I've seen enough examples to know that genuine growth exists, even if it's hard to come by. And while most people may never elevate to that point, we can still strive to be the change we want to see, focused on evolving ourselves, and in doing so, inspiring others to take their own journeys toward becoming better, more self-aware individuals. So here's to continuing the journey, staying open to possibilities, and knowing that in a world full of noise, growth and self-awareness will always shine through.